So, um, you learned in geometry that there is a case. Let me get a new page up here. Whenever you had to prove if triangles were congruent, there was the angle, angle, angle. No, there wasn't the angle, angle, angle. Sorry. There was the side, 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 the side, angle, side, angle, side, angle, hypotenuse leg, and angle, angle, side. Okay, those were your 5 ways that you could prove congruency in triangles, okay? However, if you had me, we always said we don't spell a bad word because that one is ambiguous. And so, you know, the thing is, if we know the lengths of 2 sides, and we know an angle down here, you know, we can create multiple triangles. We can create 1, 2, or none, depending on the angle, this angle that's given to you. That's not included in between the legs of the triangle, okay? And that's called the ambiguous case, all right? So you need to check for that ambiguous case each time you use the law of sines, all right? Sometimes you'll get that the triangle doesn't work at all. It just doesn't make sense. Sometimes you'll get, well, I can have 1 triangle. And sometimes, with the ambiguous case, you can have 2 triangles or 2 cases, which is why yesterday I had you showing me the fact that how to find those 2 cases, all right, even though none of them worked. So, if we look at example B, and I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to go to a new page so that we have enough space. If you can read it to me. I'm giving you that A is equal to 105 degrees. What else did I give you? 73. So this is what I gave you? Okay. All right, so we're going to, over here, give yourself room, because this is what I'm checking. I'm checking this information here. Obviously all your work, but this is where I want to look to find your answers. We're going to label case 1 and case 2. We're going to know that we're given in each case that angle A is 105 degrees. Side A is 73. These are not disputed in each of these cases. And we don't know what angle B is. We don't know what angle C is. I know that side B is 55. And I don't know what side C is. All right, so we're going to draw this little triangle just to kind of help us set everything up. I'm going to call this A, B, C. Remember, this information isn't necessary. I know that this is not drawn accurately because I've got A looking like it's acute, but it really is an obtuse angle. So if that bothers you, then change your picture so that A is the wider one. But for me, it's just placement, okay? I know that this is 73. This is 55. So according to the law of sines, we have the sine of 105 over 73 equals the sine of B over 55, which equals the sine of C over C. That's our proportion that we can write. And we can easily figure out angle B. Would you agree? That's the one where we can figure out. Now, you want to keep this in mind as you're looking at your information that's given, that if a bunch of sides are given, like let's say I gave you 3 sides and 1 angle, you're going to find the angle of the smaller of the sides. You want to think of sine, go with the smaller angle. So this is just a little key to always help you get it right. Sine, go for the smaller angle. So if you've got 3 sides to choose from, 8, 16, and 9, and I give you the angle that corresponds to side 16, find the angle that corresponds to side 8 so that you get your cases all correct. Okay? All right, so we're going to figure out, we know how to do this. We're going to say that we're going to have 55 sine of 105 over 73 equals the sine of B. Now, I'm just kind of cross-multiplying and dividing. If you need to show more steps, then do it. Okay. And so using our calculator, 55 sine of 105 divided by 73 tells me that this is 0.7277. And how do I find angle B? Okay, we got to do the inverse. So, you know, you can do all this without rounding, correct, on your calculator? You're going to go second inverse and then second answer, and it pulls that answer right into the inverse equation. Do y'all know that? Okay, and so you're going to get that B is equal to 46.698. So about 46.7 degrees. So for case 1, B is clearly 46.7 degrees. Now, what did we do yesterday to figure out how to find angle B for case 2? None of these worked yesterday, but what do I do? Larissa? Okay. So, good. So for case 2, I'm going to take 180 minus 46.7 degrees. And I get 133.3. Correct? Am I allowed to figure out, is there going to be another case? Okay. That's why there is no case 2. That one's not going to work. Okay? And the 133, we've already exceeded 180 degrees. There's nothing left for angle C. All right, so this is a one case problem. All right, so that means C in case 1 is going to equal 180 minus 105 minus 46.7, which is, I did this wrong. What's it supposed to be? Don't forget your little degrees information mark. And then we can say, well, that to figure out side C, I mean, this is just basically from yesterday. We'll say 73 sine of 28.3 divided by the sine of 105 equals side C. Again, I'm doing a lot of this in my head, but you might want to show the proportions that equal to each other, do your cross multiplication, and go physically solve for C. And I get that side C is about 35.83. Y'all get the same thing? Okay, so this was no difference. It's kind of a warm-up. All right, let's try this one. So we're going to do our case 1 and case 2. No, because your side will swing out or in. There's no way that you can get more than 2 options. So I don't know what angle A is. I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. It's 40. I know that side A is 20. I don't know what angle B is. I know that side B is 30. I don't know what angle C is. Side C. And so which angle can we find? Angle B, right? So the sine of B over 30 equals the sine of 40 over 20. And so sine of B is equal to 30 sine of 40 over 20. And I got 74 0.6 degrees. Check your math with mine. And so for case 2, I'm going to take 180 minus 74.6, and I'm going to get, as a possibility, 105.4. Is that viable? It is, right? Because I have 105.4 and then I have 40. So is there room for angle C to exist? Okay. So we do have 2 cases. Do you see how now we have 2 cases? Okay. So we know that in case 1, angle C is going to be 180 minus 74.6 minus 40, or 65.4 degrees. And in case 2, we're going to take 180 minus 40 minus 105.4, and we'll get 34.6. And so then our C's, are our C's going to be the same in each case, or will they be different in each case? They'll be different, so you're going to have to do this process twice to figure out what side C is. Allie? Yes. Okay. All right, so generally it's a case, Allie, angle side side. So look at your angle side side. Generally that's going to be, sometimes you'll get it with one of the other cases, but generally angle side side. All right, so for side C, we can say the sine of 40 over 20 equals the sine of 65.4 over C for case 1. And I get that C can be then 28.3 units. And, you know, as long as you're showing me your proportion, if you can do all that cross multiplication on your calculator, that's fine. Okay? So as long, you've got to show me your proportion, and then you can just tell me what C is equal to. So the proportion for the second case would say the sine of 40 over 20 is equal to the sine of, in this case, 34.6, right? Over C. So 20 sine of 34.6 divided by the sine of 40. So in this case, I get 17.7. .6, it just, the board, I can't write out a board. Okay. Are we good? All right, let's go back to the first example. Okay, so here we have case 1 and case 2. A is 63, side A is 18. Angle B, I don't know. Side B is 25. And I don't have any information on angle C or side C. And so we can say that the sine of B over 25 equals the sine of 63 over 18. And so what do you get for B? Because I know that I'm going to multiply these two, and if I want to solve for this one, that I have to divide by 18. It's all right. I've been doing this for how many years? A few more than you. Just a few. So what do you get the sine of B to equal? Answer, what does the sine of B equal? Okay. So my question, I want you to look at me so I know that you're doing this, like you're paying attention. Your unit circle. Really, everything is based on the unit circle. All angles fall between 0 and 360. What is the largest answer when we find our trig functions? What's the tan? It's 1. What is this? This is over 1. Your answers for these trig values are never going to be over 1. If you get something over 1, what this is saying is there is no way that you can give me a triangle whose one angle is 63 degrees, opposite side is 18, and one of the adjacent sides 25. It just won't form a triangle. So this is an instance where there is no solution. It just isn't going to work. So this is a no solution. Well, that's why I wanted to do one of these cases. Sometimes you have one case, sometimes you have two cases, and in this case, no case exists. Okay, Alex?
So if you have no solution for test 1, you automatically...
You don't even have an option for test 2 because I can't find that angle, right? So how can I take 180 minus that value? All right, so are we good? I know there's another